Excuse me. Hugo, why don't you tell me everybody's watching? And that they stopped on by. Yeah. The classics, the original Sherlock Holmes adventures. Cheers. Welcome back to another Pipe Chats with the First Mate and Captain Bailey. A little housekeeping. It's always good to get back to your favorite blend. Smoking Peterson's Sherlock Holmes blend. I started reading a book. I said, I gotta crack it open. I actually finished up the rest of the Fiddler Flake, I think that was the H.P. Lovecraft series by Cornell and Deal. So I finished that up and decided to, since I started reading this again, to give it a crack. And let me tell you, still my favorite blend. So, what am I going to talk about today on Pipe Chats? I really don't have anything. This is just a random talk, random chat, whatever. Windy, brisk, fall, autumn, October day, and I hope my camera stays in place and doesn't blow over again. If it does, it does. That's why we have editing, right? So, day before Halloween. It's got my Halloween trick-or-treat mug. And, like I said, reading my Sherlock Holmes. It's hard, sometimes when you have a YouTube channel and you want to, have content up, like, all the time. You always feel like, all these other guys are putting out all these videos and, I got to get something up. And it just, after a while, it's just like, it gets old. And you don't want to have that pressure. I like to do this for fun and as a hobby and just like a catalog or, of my brewing adventures and just whatever, just fun things, And a lot of times it starts to be, once something becomes work, then you don't want to do it no more because you're like, oh my God, I gotta get up there and I gotta get out there and I gotta do a video. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. I don't want to put that pressure on myself anymore. I used to at first, when I first started the channel, like, I gotta get something up. I tend to feel that way sometimes, especially when certain videos get a lot of views. And you're like, oh, the views, man, look at that. Why? But then it's like, it's relative. Because it's like, how come this one particular video may have got, like, I don't know, 700 views in, obviously that's over a period of time. Most of my videos only get, like, 10 to 15 views. So, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about trying to make money off YouTube. Burning myself. This flame is high. There we go. So if I come out here and do a random chat or I don't know, a cooking with Hugo video, it's just whatever. I'm doing it for fun, doing it just to get something out there. And if it gets views, it gets views. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, it's the way of the YouTube realm now. I mean, everybody was all about trying to make money and things like that before, and now it's like they screwed everybody, us small creators. I mean, pretty much I'll never see a check. And you're gonna chase that dollar if you try. They're holding that carrot above your head, and you're never gonna get it. So, on that note, I'm not going to complain about trying to, grow the channel and things like that. I mean, subs come and they go. Views, maybe I'll get the views. Maybe some of you will find something funny and or airplane. Wow, it's pretty close. So today, since tomorrow is Halloween, my favorite time of the year, my favorite holiday, then I don't know what it is, but it's just, always has been. And we're going to talk about this. If any of you are horror fans such as me, you know what this is. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, this is really a standalone movie. I've said this before. I don't know if I said it on YouTube or not, but it's a standalone film, and it's a great Halloween flick. I mean, after a while, the first half hour in or whatever, you get that damn commercial. Do 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 do. 8 more days till Halloween. The jingle. It's just by the end of the movie, you're like, you had enough of it. But that's the whole thing that really makes this movie work. It's got the great Tom Atkins in it, and Dan O'Leary, I think his name is, or O'Hurley. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but he is the bad guy, Colonel Cochran, and that makes all the masks and the novelty toys, and you recognize him from RoboCop. He's the I guess the boss of the big company that makes RoboCop, and he's a warlock, and he's trying to bring back sacrifice and appease the pagan gods or whatever to I guess bring about the change of order of things and the sacrifice, what they used to do back in the old days during this time of year. But the thing is, a lot of people mistake this and it's why did they do that? They call it Halloween 3 and it has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Well, that is true. And if you don't know this, the Halloween series John Carpenter has set forth, it was supposed to be a standalone movie every Halloween to come out. You're supposed to have the first one, which was the Michael Myers one. And then, of course, he didn't know how that was going to take, kind of like George Lucas with Star Wars. That was supposed to be it and done. But it was such a hit, and people were wanting more, that the next year, the producers in Hollywood, they're like, yeah, just make another Michael film. So then he did. And then this got put on the back burner. I don't even know if this would have been Halloween 2 or not. I think it was. I think this was supposed to be the second one. So you had the Michael Myers thing, with he's coming back to come back to the town and kill people and things. And then you had this film, and then periodically every year it was supposed to be something else. Another series that is just like that is called The Curse. The first one was obviously just called The Curse, and then you have Curse all the way up to Curse 5. I think Christopher Lee was even in one of them. And it's a horror genre of films, and every single one is different. It has nothing ties in with the like Curse 2 was The Bite. It was about this guy that got bit by a snake, and then he turns into a giant snake in the end of the movie. And the first one was about basically it was based off Lovecraft, The Color Out of Space. A meteorite crashes to Earth, infects or pollutes the farmland that they're living on, and then everybody starts getting infected and essentially turns into zombie-like creatures by the end of the film. So if you didn't know that, that's the way that was going. That's why people were like, "What the hell is this? Why is it like this?" Kind of like what they did with they wanted to keep on with Jason, but then how Jason 5, Jason 4, he died, and then they didn't, and then for some reason they showed Tommy Jarvis in a halfway house, and then it's just essentially some dude running around pretending to be Jason. And it's kind of like that film. It's like, what the hell? Why didn't they just bring Jason back? Why did they just do something different? That's a good thing to Google, I guess. Having a hard time keeping it lit though, but I just opened the tin this morning, so I really didn't let it air out or anything. It's kind of moist. But with Halloween 3 or Season of the Witch, I just call it Season of the Witch. It's it's dated. Obviously there's still hand phones. It's the late 80s. I think late 80s. I don't know if this DVD box will say when it came out. 1982. Okay, so it's 82, maybe, I guess. It all depends. 81, 82. So if you don't know what it's about, basically this doctor, this guy's running around at the beginning of the film, and he's just, he's carrying a Halloween mask, and like these robots, basically. Colonel Cochran's got these guys, like he's such a gifted toy maker, or whatever. He's invented like these robots that actually look like freaking businessmen in suits, and essentially they do his bidding, and they go around killing people and just doing whatever he needs done, his dirty work. And it's such a great film. I mean, it's so old. I mean, I hope I'm not giving out any spoilers, but whatever. I mean, if you haven't seen this movie by now, please do go see it. It's an awesome film. And the girl in it is the salesman's daughter that got killed, and she teams up with Tom Atkins, Dr. Chalice, who was the doctor at the ER that tried to save her and her father, and then is caught up in this whole scheme. And then and basically what they're trying to do is all the Halloween masks that he put out have little pieces of Stonehenge with some mystical witchery. And basically when they flash that commercial on Halloween night and send out the pattern signal through the TV, it's going to send a signal to the chip that they have embedded in the mask, and basically kill everybody, or kill all the children, and basically their heads explode, and all these bugs and snakes and stuff come out, and it would eventually, the bugs and snakes kill the parents too. Especially when there's a poisonous snake that comes out of their heads, and they just start it's just crazy. And it kind of leaves it on an open-ended note. And what's neat is, like, the girl, there's a time period where they kidnap the girl, and then he gets her, and they escape, but then he doesn't know that she's a duplicate, and she's a robot. And then, like, it's just so awesome. I just remember growing up watching this, and it just brings back so much nostalgia and feelings when I watch it. It brings back the past. Is when you see something that brings back your childhood. It's really great. I watch it every Halloween. And then at the end of the film, it's just like leaves you hanging. Kind of like, because he's calling the radio stations. He says, "You gotta please shut it off, shut it off." So he gets like 2 networks to shut off the pattern going out. And then it's just like right at the last one, he's like, "Shut it off, it's still on. The channel's still on. The channel's still on. It's still on." And it just shows him screaming at the end, "Shut it off." And then you're just left, and the credits roll, and you're like, well, did they shut it off? Did one of those networks, listen to them? Because if they didn't, then, thousands of people are going to get killed. So it's one of those movies that just leave you hanging, and it's left up to the viewer. And that's what's great. It's classic. It's classic. So, on that note, I think me and Hugo are just going to finish this pipe. I'm going to get back to reading my Sherlock Holmes. So Halloween tomorrow, trick or treat. Gotta take the kids out. I'll probably just stay back, let the captain's wife take the kids out, and I'm just gonna stay back and scare the kids and give out candy, like I do most years. And then I'll watch a couple of horror films. And I'll probably watch Halloween 1 and 2. I've already watched this one already, so. But normally that's what my tradition is. I'll watch Halloween 1 and 2 tomorrow on Halloween. I didn't watch the new one yet. Again, I have mixed feelings about watching remakes and redos, because again, if you take this film into consideration, into the realm of Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise, this one is a remake of the second film, because they're saying this is taking place after the events of the first film, essentially 20 years later, or something like that. So now you're writing off Dr. Loomis in that whole hospital film where Laurie Strode was fighting Michael Myers in the hospital. I don't think that. I don't think that at all. So now if I go watch this, I'm supposed to wash my brain from that, kind of like what they're doing with the Star Wars shit. Wash your brain from all that shit, and you watch our new shit. That's what I gotta say to that. So, on that note, before the captain gets a little on more tangents, thank you again for watching this Pipe Chats. Till we do it again, my friends, remember, let's set sail.